Thank you.
When
Thank
did you
you.
get back?
This morning.
Wow, you
Yeah.
must be exhausted.
A little bit. I slept off and on. It's long, 15 hours. It's very.
Yeah,
I don't know if people do it back and forth, back and forth.
yeah,
I guess young people. If you're young, you can do it.
yeah. How was it?
Very nice. But they need so much help there. Then there, but the soldiers, there's so many wounded. It's horrible, horrible. Yeah. Hi, Ernie. Regards from Yaakov.
Huh?
Regards from your Yaakov, the Gabbai.
You davened at KBM?
Yeah, I went there Shabbos morning.
It's nice, right? It's nice.
Very
stuff.
nice, very nice. Yeah,
I'm sure you got Kohen.
I did. There's only 2 other Kohanim there, so not a problem.
You had a little protexia.
Oh yeah, it helps. It helps.
Good.
Yeah, where are we holding?
149.
Oh, exactly.
Kuf Mem test.
Got it.
149.
Got it.
Ernie,
Yes.
what happened yesterday?
We learned at 7:00.
Yeah, but you never said a message. Not for me, but Abe was waiting.
No,
at 8 o'clock.
Abe learned with us.
No,
Yeah.
no, he did not. He was waiting at 8 o'clock.
President Trump, he put out this message. We have never, our target.
It's okay.
I think Abe was with us yesterday at 7 with Walter.
No, Walter and George.
Abe was with us.
I thought Abe was with us. Okay, I don't know. Does Abe know that it's 7:00
Let
tonight?
it be known.
Yes,
America stands strong.
I sent a message.
You know, I think Trump was brilliant. He chooses this Gates, and they think he's the worst person in the world. And really, all along was going to be this Pam Bondi, who's a real tough nigga. But they would have come up with something about now she's like Jerry West compared to Matt Gaetz. I think they planned this all along.
Of course. He threw a bone that he let them chew it and chew it and chew it, wear themselves out. Then I tell you who I really want.
But you know, Ernie.
Yeah.
He wanted him out of the Congress. You know, he didn't want.
So he wouldn't get that ethics stuff thrown against him.
Correct.
No, not because of that. Because he was a stirrer over there. He made a lot of trouble. Then nobody liked him. He kicked out McConnell. Nobody liked him. He was a stirrer, but he was his friend. So he said, "Okay, he'll take you for that." He's a brilliant guy. I'm telling you. In the end, the guy backs out. He knows. So,
But it laid the groundwork for this Pam Bondi because they have nothing to say now.
Why? What's that? What's to say about her? She's probably
very good.
She was an election. You'll see. She was an election
woman.
denier.
She was what?
She one of the people who claimed that the 2020 election was fraudulent.
Okay.
She's also tough against Disney. She's very tough.
You'll see. The Democrats are not going to be quiet, but she's going to be confirmed because the Republicans will stand behind her.
Absolutely.
But you see, if it wasn't for Gates, they would have started with her from the beginning. This will make her, like George said, it'll make they chewed their bone. It's Trump or his team. It could be this Susan Wiles, who's his chief of staff, is running everything. It could be that she's behind it. So who knows? But she's also from Florida.
Recording in progress.
Here's Walter. We got 2 Walters now.
Yeah. Okay, I go.
Okay. So
Ernie, before you leave, the one thing I think that we have to realize is Trump learned a lot the first time around. And he is working very hard not to give them the opportunity to take him down by messing things up. He also realizes he has to change a lot of the people because otherwise he won't get anything done.
Yeah, but in the meantime, the government there by giving the American government by giving these long-range missiles, man, we can just now have a world war. They're going to put
It's
Yeah.
crazy what they, and I've done a lot of reading on this, that America, we put missiles in Poland and Romania, like anti-ballistic missiles. And Putin said, what are you doing? And we said to him, do us something. Do me something. And the whole problem with Ukraine was so Putin asked Blinken in 2014 or 2022, right before the thing, are you going to put missiles in Ukraine, anti-ballistic missiles? And Blinken said, it's none of your business. We can do whatever we want. That's why he went to war. This is what's going on.
No, it's very dangerous. Okay, let's learn. We need a big
And Trump, I think, knows all this crap.
Yeah, but they're trying to do everything in their power to mess up everything before Trump comes in, so he has to clean up the mess again. That's the modus operandi. Okay.
Yeah, this is very dangerous what they're doing. Who wants to? And the American public has no clue. The Democrats, the Ukraine, like as if they know something. They don't know anything. The threat to NATO. NATO's not going anywhere. Anyways, so we're talking about the Shchiv Mara using other language. So if he says, yeah, Nebahem, that Ruvain should benefit from my assets. Now, what does that mean? Deneve Kulu? Matanakom? Is he saying he's giving everything away as a gift? He's saying he should benefit from some of it only. Or he says, Yira Behen Ma'u. He should see my assets. Or Yamud Behen Ma'u. Or Yishon Behen Ma'u. But he should lean on them. All of these are not clear statements of matana. So we leave it as a suffix. We asked a fine question. The Shchiv Mara, rather than giving away his assets, mochar kol mechasava, he sold it. Already Marav. Im Ahmad, if he got healthy, normally we said, if he gave away all of his assets as a matana, and then he got healthy, he gets it all back. Because he never would give all his assets away if he knew he wasn't going to die. But here, if he sold it, right, he got money in return. Eino chozer. However, zin and amar avidam arav imam ad chozer. So it depends on the situation. Below pliki, there's really no machlokas. Hadi islam zuzi b'nayu. If what he sold is still present, so that can be returned. But that means, if he had the money, if he hasn't spent the money that he got for selling his assets, and then he gets healthy and he wants his assets back, he gives the money back, he gets his assets back. But the case where it doesn't come back to him is the perino b'chayva. He used the money to pay off a debt. Perhaps that's the reason why he sold it. He wanted his debt paid off. So he doesn't get it back in that case. Iboilu. Shchibara shahoide. The Shchibara says, I admit that I owe money. I owe money to Chaim Yaakov. So, just like we say a matana, the Shchibara works. Do we believe the Shchibara here is Toshma? There was a case, Isur Giyura. Isur was a ger. He was a goy, and he became a Jew. And he was the father of Rav Mary. Havale trace Rav Izuzi Bei Rava. There was $12,000 in the house of Rava that apparently had belonged to this Isur the Ger. Now, Rav Mary Bray, Rav Mary was the son of Isur. Listen, his conception, when he was conceived, the father was still a goy. And then the father converted, And when he was born, the father was Jewish. Ubei Rav Havu. Rav Mary was not at home with his father. He was in yeshiva by Rav. And then Isser got sick. Amar Rava. And Isser had deposited, there was $12,000 in the house of Rava that apparently Isser the Ger had deposited with Rava. Now Rava is like licking his lips. He's licking his chops because he's thinking that he's going to end up with this $12,000. Why is this? Rav Meri Lani says, how is Isser the Ger going to be makneh the $12,000 that's in my house to his son Rav Meri? Ibi Yerusha, la by Yerushahu. He's not a Yerush. Since when the father conceived him, he was a goy. Now that they all became Gerim, it's like a new, it's not like he's not related to the father. So by Yerusha it won't work. Even Matana, through a Shchiv Mara, well, there's a detail. Mata Shchiv Mara ki Yerusha shavi Rabbana. The Chachamim equated a gift of a Shchiv Mara to Yerusha. Kol hechad yisra b'Yerusha is Matana. If Yerusha could take place, then Matana can take place. Kol hechad lesser b'Yerusha, lesser Matana. If he cannot be Yorishim, there's no matana to him either. So those mechanisms for Isser to give the $12,000 to his son so far doesn't work. Now, if Rav Meri was with his father, he could do Mashicha on the objects. But listen to Gabe, he's not there. He's at yeshiva. Now, when we go to the rabbi Pesach time to sell our chametz to the goy doesn't come to our house and pick up the chametz. We write a document to tell our rabbi where our chametz is, and then he gives us a handkerchief to hold, and we give it back to him, or we hold on to a pen. So that's called a kinyan. That's a kinyan chalipin. That's like a fictional kinyan, but it can create a kinyan. So maybe let Isser will pick something up, and he'll be makna to Rav Meri. However, there was money. This $12,000 was cash, coin, and ein matbeh nikne b'chalipin. There's a detail in kinyan chalipin that you cannot acquire coin with kinyan chalipin. Meanwhile, Rava is very happy. This money, he's going to end up with all this money. Because remember, a ger doesn't have yorshim. No one inherits a ger. Whoever grabs the asset of the ger first after he dies acquires it. Now, this money's in Rava's house. So the moment Isser dies, Rav is going to own the $12,000 through the fact that he's coining it because it's in his chutzner, it's in his house. Now, if they can figure out some mechanism for Isser to give this money to his son, but we've exhausted everything. Can't work with Yerusha, can't work with Matana. There's no kinyan chalip, and you can't do Mashicha. No. Now, what else? Agav karka, we've learned that if you have a piece of land and you have metaltalin or something on the piece of land, you can do a kinyan with the star about the land, and you can acquire the metaltalin there. However, Leslie Ara, Isser didn't have land. Now, Abe mentioned the Shibuda de Rav Nosson, which is b'maimed shloishta. That means if Isser and Rav Meri and Rava were in the same place, Isser could command Rava, give the money to Rav Mary. That's called the Maimet Shloishtim. And that's enough. So Rava says, Ishalach le lo azilna. Rava said, if he calls me to come to his house, I'm not going to go. Nobody can force Rava to go to his house. So through this mechanism, Rava was going to acquire this money. So Maskifla Rav Ika Bereda Ravan. What about Amai Veloidi Isser Dalin Zusi? We just asked the question, what about a Shchivra that admits that he owes money to somebody? So let Isser admit that the money that is in Rava's house belongs to Rav Mary. And therefore he's going to acquire it with the hodah of the Shchivra. Adahachi Nofik oitismi mibe Isser. In fact, this kind of announcement came out of the house of Isser that the kesef belonged to Rav Mary. Ikpid Rava. Rava was upset. Obviously, somebody had heard about Rav Ami's idea, and Rava is upset that the people are teaching people who don't know anything, but it's causing me to lose money. But that's a raya that a hoidah shchivmara works to be makna something like a matam. Okay, that's a very interesting case. Then we said like this: if a shchivmara gives away all of his assets, and then he is healed, he gets all of his assets back. Because the only reason he was giving it away, he thought he was going to die. If he's not going to die, how is he going to live? Nobody would give away all of his assets. So that's how a shchivmara works. However, the Mishnah said, Shayir karka kolshu matanosa kayemes. If the shchivmara didn't give everything, I'm giving everything away, but this piece of land I'm keeping. So then if he gets better, the gift that he gave remains a gift. He can't get it back. Now, the Gemara wants to know, kama kolshu. Kolshu normally is a nothing. Well, here, we need to define how much does the shchivra have to retain in order for it to be considered that if he got better, what he gave away is a real matan. There has to be a big piece of land that he could keep himself alive with that piece of land, either to renting it or growing crops. That means it was kedei parnasoso. That makes sense because he kept something for himself to live on. That way, 90% of what he gave away is a gift. I don't need the rest. Rav Yomi Bava Amar, no, metaltalin kedei parnasoso. It doesn't have to be karka. If he left money in the bank, enough to keep him alive for the remainder of his life, that's also good. Wow, these are really smart halachas by these elder rabbanim. Because karka taimamai, why is he retaining karka? So he can rely on it. So matatanami, if it's enough that he can rely on it, that's enough. Okay. Maskiv Rav Yosef. What's the big cup that there was exactly the same? Because in fact, it's problematic with our Mishnah. Mando Amar Metaltalin, the Mando Amar that says that if he kept cash or other Metaltalin as the kolshu, not karka. So what do you mean? Karka tanan. The Mishnah says land. And the opposite, Mando Amar Kedei Parnasoso. Kedei Parnasoso is a lot of land, enough to keep him alive for the next 20 years. But the Mishnah says kolshu tanan. Kolshu means a little bit of nothing. So both answers don't seem correct to Rav Yosef. Amalei Abaya. Kol heichen detoni karka dafka. It's not so. You're not correct. Just because the Mishnah says karka doesn't mean dafka karka. We see other places where it mentions karka, it means other assets. Because v'hatnan. HaKosev kol nechasav la'avdoi. Person writes that all of his assets should go to his Eved Kanani. Yotza ben Chayrin. I mean, he's basically the Eved Kanani is also owned by the guy who's writing it. So when I say I'm giving all my assets to him, he's basically giving him his freedom. But Shire Karka Kolshahu. If the guy giving away all of his assets to the Eved retains some land, then Lo Yotza ben Chayrin. Because maybe that, when he retains some land, it also includes his Evet. Rav Shimon Amar Lo Oilam, he's always going to be, he's always goes free. Ad She Yoimar, Kol Nachasai Nesunin Leploini Avdi Chutz Me'echad Meribo Sheben. I'm giving everything to my Evet, except for 1 out of 600,000. Excuse me, one out of 10,000. He's not really defining what he's keeping. So maybe it's kavanah to the Eved. And that the Eved is not being he's not being mashachrer. So then, in that case, he would not be a ben chor. But in all other cases, it would be a ben chor. Okay. So tomorrow we will learn at 3:30.
Okay.
Okay, 3:30. Make sure Abe knows